rough start. We'll see if the new Denial eSports roster can kind of turn things around as a very aggressive invade from Team Coast just gets down some early ward coverage.
Yeah, and my game is repetitively crashing here, so I'm not gonna be able to see much just yet, so enjoy.
This is where you get to offer your expert out-of-game analysis, Dan.
Alright, so we have seen Coast use some aggressive invades at some points, but it's not really their style. We see defensive for most of them, but Shiphtur, they do have the bouncing bomb. They have the stun on Annie already up with that incinerate, so an AoE stun is available to them. But the counter engage from potentially a charm and Lucian's early damage is pretty good. But I think Coast could persist and go for some deep wards.
I enjoy the focus on just getting down a ton of early ward coverage. A lot of teams you'll just see put down 2 wards on the red side and then look to just sort of scout out what the lane matchups are going to be for the early level ones. But this time around from Coast, they put down 4 deep wards in the enemy jungle. They went for a deep invade through blue, did the same thing through red, and now they have just this huge crescent throughout the jungle. There are going to be 0 surprises for the first 3 minutes of the game for Coast as they have excellent map coverage to start things off, and it does look like they want to play things standard with a dual lane down bottom, solos in the mid and top, and that's exactly what we're going to see for both teams. But it's going to be Annie Sivir, which is a little bit of a different take on the VVV's bottom lane of running Tarek's Sivir, just with a little bit of a longer auto attack range. By that I mean not melee for support. Annie does have that click stun. It's continually harassing Atomic down there, but as soon as he hits level 2, we'll add some sustain to that lane. But we got the Brotherhood of top lane as Renekton versus NACL. This is all going to be about the outscale. Once ZionSpartan stacks up his Q, Renekton starts to have some issues, and while Renekton's ultimate dominance just does flat area of effect damage, ZionSpartan's Q actually does percentage max HP damage, which is going to be really good against BillyBoss, as well as adding that a portion of that damage done to his own attack damage, which is a huge steroid, especially in that 1v1. So as we see all of the lane matchups, pretty standard across the board. Junglers starting on opposite sides, both at their blue buffs, and both picked up their double buffs by now, and are looking for their first ganks of the game.
And, yeah, I still can't see it.
Well, that is somewhat unfortunate, but you know what is fortunate is that thankfully we have me in the game, and that's still at least gonna do it for now. So while we mourn the loss of my wonderful co-caster EGAD, we're gonna look for I said early ganks, but we haven't actually seen anything just yet. It's kind of a farm-heavy jungle for YoDa. We did see the first trip back to base for Nintendude. He did come out with see health potion, sight ward, and a spirit stone. So welcome back, Dan. How's it going?
It's going good. I thought I was going to keep doing this, but it's okay now. And yeah, so an early back for NintendudeX grants him that sight stone. He'll clear even faster now with that that burnout, so it's going to be good for him. And as you said earlier, that farm lane up top for ZionSpartan, just siphoning strike, is probably one of the best scaling abilities in the game. And we are seeing a little bit of pressure in bot lane. They're pushing it out. They're forcing that Annie Sivir lane back underneath turret. While Ecko getting shoved underneath turret by Shiphtur, who's full HP right now. And potentially we could see a dive from NintendudeX, who is looping around.
Yeah, exactly. The reason that Nintendo is pushing up so aggressively is he knows that Shiphtur's shoved Ecko way underneath his turret, and whenever you do that, you're going to be in a position for a gank. And with YoDa coming in, does reveal his presence out there on the map. Did see Essence Theft give Ecko a little bit more sustain underneath that turret. But yeah, Ecko's going to have to take a trip back to base. Didn't go with a sustain start, just went with Doran's Ring, and unable to use that very aggressively. Didn't have the sustain to stay in lane against Shiphtur's Zigs, which, I mean, we saw probably as the first professional player to really bring Zigs into the competitive scene, but Shiphtur's just taken it to an entirely different level.
Yeah, and he's just shown how powerful the bouncing bomb is. Those mines, as well as a satchel for some utility and a knockback, and as well as it propels himself forward if he does use it on himself to try to escape out there, maybe save a flash. And we're seeing in the bot lane already, Ecko is using the piercing light and is trying to pressure WizFujiN, and WizFujiN couldn't time the shield right to try to negate that damage, as Sivir has probably the best outplay potential with that shield to stop knockbacks, stuns, everything, and even damage from that piercing light from Ecko. But if you don't time it right, it's kind of a long cooldown, especially early on. We do see a gank up top, though. NintendudeX is coming in. There's the overburn, applying the red buff as well onto BillyBoss. We see the Ignite get dropped on a ZionSpartan. He's going to be safe in the flash through that wall. Probably one of the hardest flashes in the game, and that will keep BillyBoss safe and alive and not give him first blood.
I've seen more flashes failed over that wall than almost anywhere else. It's really rough to make it that far in time. I mean, rest in peace, Season 1 Flash. That was pretty easy there. BillyBoss, though, going to catch in on a ZionSpartan straight out the bushes. One auto attack, forced the flash out of Zion just by waiting there in the brush. So Zion's going back to base. He's going to miss an entire wave of CS at turret. And with BillyBoss backing as well, I'd almost just stay there and take that extra...
Oh, YoDa's diving down bot right now, actually. He vault breaker, but it didn't connect. So no one hit the turret aggro. We do see Atomic getting stunned. Daydreamin following up with auto attacks as well as WizFujiN, and almost a scary dive, but in the mid lane it looks like we saw Shyvana going in with the dragon form, and Ecko just backing right out of there with his flash.
Yeah, ecko forced to burn that flash, and not having flash against the Zigs is really, really rough because it just makes it so much easier for you to just scout out exactly where he's going to be. And without level 6 just yet, there's no Spirit Rush to dodge away from even something like the Mega Inferno Bomb. So definitely going to make it a little bit rough. And Shiphtur's just having a field day in the mid. He's getting basically free farm, just shoving every single wave deep underneath that turret. BillyBoss throws down a pink ward, so we'll be able to clear out the ward placed by ZionSpartan and make it a little bit easier for YoDa to gank top. He hasn't actually come up there just yet, so we'll have to see if he comes back up there and tries to turn that lane around, because a strategy that's really worked out very well for Coast is just get ZionSpartan ahead, camp his lane super hard early on, and then just let him do whatever he wants. But haven't seen YoDa come up there to try to counter gank just yet.
Yeah, I guess it's just relying on BillyBoss being that Renekton. He's got a lot of mobility. He can escape from most situations, as well as be that tanky monster and heal up a little bit with the Call of the Meek. As we see them trading back and forth right now, Dominus gets popped out there. He's got he has the rage. He is going to chase him down with the Slice and Dice. Gets Withered, going to dice into that, gets some auto attacks off, and simply, ZionSpartan just trots away like the doggy that he is, and will have that ultimate down for BillyBoss for a little while.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask ZionSpartan if he chose Nasus just as a deliberate tribute to our wonderful NACL DJ, Prius707, who is kind of our resident dog here. But either way, he's doing a pretty good job of it. I like the choice not to go aggressive and just burn out that Fury of the Sands, because he knows that he can wait out the Dominus from BillyBoss and just not fight, and then use his Soul Eater passive, as well as a great anime to heal up off of that wave.
Atomic just got chunked out there, a stun coming in from the Incinerate and the Fireball, as well as a nice Boomerang Blade from WizFujiN there, just chunking him away and forcing him to heal up and spam that mana. ZionSpartan, though, is still getting pressure underneath this turret. We see BillyBoss fully healed up. ZionSpartan is sustaining up with that passive, as well as siphoning strike damage. And another Boomerang Blade connecting onto Atomic there, forcing him to sit back. We have a stun available to Daydreamin, but they're holding back and playing it a little bit more cautiously. And yeah, just this Renekton Nasus matchup is so in the favor of Nasus early on, but not Nasus, in the favor of Renekton early on, because he doesn't have to rely on mana. It's just all cooldowns, and if he has that Fury stacked up, he can get extra healing off the culling and slice and dice. It's just so useful.
Alright, but there's BillyBoss going in, trying to shove ZionSpartan underneath the turret. ZionSpartan going to turn on an ultimate of his own. Does throw down Wither onto BillyBoss, but doesn't have a whole lot of mana. Will we see a second Wither go down? That's all it's going to take, but does Zion have enough mana? Yes, he does. He doesn't have enough for any follow-up, and so BillyBoss will now make it out alive. Nice aggressive play by Zion, but unable to capitalize with the kill. Unfortunately.
We do see NintendudeX coming up now. The flash is still down for BillyBoss, who is going in very aggressively. Call the Meek slicing. He's got the extra rage available to himself. We do see Nintendo with the Dragon form available. Is he to go in? There's the burnout. They're going to go in on top of this one. They go right on into the Wither gets dropped. Dominus is popped. And first blood for NintendudeX after coming out of the jungle and taking him out.
Yeah, first blood, and onto a Shyvana just makes her that much scarier in the jungle. YoDa's there. He's going to go in onto Zion, try to get the kill, but probably won't go very aggressive. Use the flash shield just to stay a little bit healthier in lane, and he's going to be up here holding this for a while until BillyBoss can make his way back up to top.
Ecko's diving. Shiphtur in the mid lane right now. Satchel comes out. He gets over the wall. He flashes. Ecko takes so many turret shots. Can Shiphtur land the bouncing bomb for the kill? Can he get it? It looks like they're
but he aggroed wolves!
The wolves are aggroed?
No more crits. That's the thing about the wolf camp. It can crit you just randomly, and oh my goodness, Ecko narrowly survives. Shiphtur's got enough for one more bouncing bomb. If he hits that onto Ecko, he's going to try it into the bush. Okay. All right, rest in peace, my heart. That was really, really rough dive, but unable to come out with a kill. A lot burned there by Ecko, but he is going to have his flash up by the time he gets back to lane, so might have a little bit more luck with his second all-in.
All right, so that was very close, and a lot of output potential for both sides could have happened out there. YoDa's going in, though, onto NintendudeX right now. Just a ton of damage to that red buff, but NintendudeX responds with his own damage, just chunking YoDa away and forcing him out of there. And YoDa did hold up the lane for Echo, so he will be able to farm that one up, get himself a nice bit of gold there. We do see the makings of an Athens for Shiphtur right now as almost the same route for Echo, as he has the extra Doran's blade for Doran's ring, for extra bit of damage and some mana sustain. And Spirit of the Ancient Golem now completed up for NintendudeX, so he is that tanky monster, while BillyBoss and ZionSpartan just go back and forth.
Couple of interesting build paths. You notice the Chalice of Harmony on Echo. He's going to be going for the defensive Ahri route. Instead of just rushing for that Deathfire Grasp, you get straight for an Athens. It works really well. It helps you shove really quickly, but it's not going to give you that aggressive all-in potential that you would have from a Deathfire Grasp. And then if you look top lane, you're going to see a Glacial Shroud on a ZionSpartan. Really interested to see whether or not he's going to go for the Frozen Heart, which is a great asset to the team. It's really hard to find a place to put on any champions nowadays. But also, you're going to see that kind of countered out by the Brutalizer coming out from BillyBoss. And while most of the time you'll see Renekton's either build tanky or mix in a Tiamat, he definitely needs that armor shred, but he's going to find NintendudeX in the bush.
And just slice it and dice it his way right out of there. And we see an early Oracles actually from NintendudeX. Usually we see the pink wards coming in. There's a flash, Assault and Battery through the satchel charge from Shiphtur. Charm comes in. There's the Orb of Deception and the Spirit Rush to help Echo pick up the kill, as well as now, are they going to rotate towards Dragon, or are they going to look to make it a more aggressive play in this mid lane, as we do see YoDa hanging around.
Yeah, the aggression there onto Shiphtur, just great gank in there. Now it's YoDa coming back just to show NintendudeX who's boss. I don't think he's actually too scared right now. He picked up a very early kill and then transferred that into an incredibly fast Spirit of the Ancient Golem. And that item is so cost effective that if you can get that sizably ahead of your opposing jungler, besides just being Shyvana and a bully already, you're just going to be incredibly strong. You can see him stealing away the Wraith Camp for now. He does look to make his way back into his own jungle. Passes over a ward, and with an early Oracles, which is really where that gold went, he's going to be able to clear out so much vision off the map. This is a little bit like the Season 2 jungle style, where you just see early Oracles into map clear, and now it's actually going to be a 3-man push bottom lane for Coast.
Yep, while up top, we do still see BillyBoss pressuring ZionSpartan up here. We do have a 3v3 potentially evolving down there. NintendudeX clearing out that pink ward, helping Daydreamin with that vision control. We are seeing WizFujiN go back. Does he have enough for... Yes, he does have enough for the BF Sword. He's got 1,700 in the bank. There's another ward being taken out there. Pink ward's getting counter ward. Did. And YoDa gonna go back with that Offer Surprise skin and pick up, I think, the rest of his Spirit of the Ancient Golem, while NintendudeX takes complete control of this Baron Pit and denies all vision in that bot lane.
Yeah, Nintendo's going to be able to pick off, I think, a total of 3-4 wards with this Oracle, so already really paying for itself and making it a lot rougher for Echo, because Echo as Ahri, sure, you can just like farm out the mid game for Ahri, but you want to be able to roam, you want to be able to pick off 1v1 kills, and you can't do that when you don't know where the opposing jungler is. There's NintendudeX going in.
Yeah, Echo's going to be forced to get away here. He doesn't have Spirit Rush just yet. It's coming off cooldown in the next couple of seconds. The mines are not going to connect. There's going to be no slow, and he will be able to Spirit Rush his way out of there. But that is still going to be the ultimate that just came up, go right back onto cooldown, and that could be used for another gank attempt for NintendudeX. And down bot, actually, we are seeing a bit of a CS advantage here for Lucian being Echo. So the pressure that they have been applying has been working out really well for them, while BillyBoss might be forced out of lane here, as he is getting really low off the harass that ZionSpartan is presenting to him.
Yeah, Zion's just forcing him out of lane over and over again. If you'll notice, ZionSpartan, he gets 17% lifesteal from Soul Eater, but he's also running lifesteal Quints too. So I think his total lifesteal right now is 24% just off of Quintessences and at Soul Eaters. So just crazy amounts of lifesteal and able to just out-sustain a Renekton, which isn't a sentence you say all that often.
Yeah, it's not a sentence you say it often at all. We do have a solo attempt here coming in from NintendudeX on the Dragon right now. YoDa does get the ping. They are witnessing it as they do drop the pink ward. So will NintendudeX be able to pick this one off? Can he get it over the wall? He cannot. And NintendudeX will get his team that Dragon and a nice little 800 gold lead, as Frozen Heart is actually finished for Zion.
Yeah, a little bit of fratricide down there. It does wind up giving the gold count over to Team Coast. They're only up by about 800 right now, so not all that big of a lead, especially off of a Dragon, which actually got them from a gold deficit into that advantage. But I was going to talk about, that was, Echo's Ahri. It's been effective at, keeping at least even in lane versus Shiphtur, but it's been completely prevented from doing anything offensive. Every time Spirit rushes up, he's forced to use it defensively, and even his itemization choice in that Athens is a defensive itemization choice instead of the offensive Athens Unholy Grail. So a great job by Coast in not only keeping Shiphtur safe, but keeping Echo from ever being a presence anywhere on the map.
Yeah, and we did actually see a red buff get counter-jungled away here. BillyBoss taking that one with the help of YoDa right now. So we'll have a lot more pressure in the lane, but the trading now with... let's see how much stacks ZionSpartan has at this point while they are trading back and forth. It looks like he currently has 210. Gonna drop the Wither, gonna get the fire out there as now the Dominus gets turned, and there's the Fear of the Sand, so they're gonna trade back and forth here. Can he drop another Wither? It looks like BillyBoss will be able to walk out of there as the brothers just keep on trading back and forth. Siphoning Strike gonna heal him up for 119. There is that lifesteal coming in, and just, that is a ridiculous amount of sustain, especially against Renekton. As he's
literally
healed.
Every time you hit a Q on when you're using that Siphoning Strike on ZionSpartan, you're gonna get 100 extra HP back from that. So, I mean, that sounds really balanced to me, but ZionSpartan definitely gonna be using that to his maximum effect. Drops the Wither onto BillyBoss. I don't think Billy can get away with this. Billy does have a red buff. Oh my goodness.
YoDa here, there's Tivers to turn, the Dragon Form comes out. Are they going to be able to pick up YoDa here? The speed going to come in from that ultimate from the Hunt. There is the Boomerang Blade connecting onto Atomic, getting chunked down to below half, and that is going to be the end of that fight as everybody backs out and actually goes in the favor of Coast a little bit, as with the help of NintendudeX, they will be able to pressure this turret quite a bit, but the culling used for the most effective way possible to clear out the wave.
Yeah, the culling is great at wave clear, great at killing minions, and eventually gets great at killing other things too. And we'll be able to keep Velocity a little bit safer for now, but still a lot of pressure down there. You can see YoDa forced to come down there as well, but NintendudeX, man, may not have any mana, but he's full health and ready to go down there. Really strong presence here. WizFujiN's gonna try to bait this out, tries the spell shield, misses it again, but it's ZionSpartan picking up the first turret of the game for Coast.
Yeah, he's out of mana right now, though. BillyBoss with the Dominus back up already. Gonna chase down into this one as the Fear of the Sand's up as well. Just seeing them bash each other back and forth. Can he actually pick up the kill? He's got the red buff for the slow. The teleport's gonna come in. The Ignite comes out. Can ZionSpartan get out of this one? It looks like no. The dot damage from the red buff and the Dominus do take him out. And that is gonna be a first turret of the game for Coast, but at the cost of ZionSpartan's life.
I don't think Zion's too concerned about that because he realizes, hey, he's going to be able to make it back to lane before his turret dies. Or is he? I think he actually, yeah, he burned his teleport, so he won't be able to save his turret right now. BillyBoss going to trade that one back away, and so a little bit of over-aggression there. It winds up with ZionSpartan getting taken out, but still is very strong right now. Has nothing but armor and is still very effective against BillyBoss in lane.
Yeah, BillyBoss counters, though, after getting that kill, gets the turret for his side on the side of Velocity here, and then we'll just keep on pushing down this lane. He's got the makings of the Spirit Visage, he's got the Brutalizer, he finished off Tabby first, so has a lot of mobility and resistances with that one. And just down bot, we're seeing the makings of a Trinity Force for Echo, as well as a Bloodthirster for WizFujiN, and in the mid lane, we do see the pressure from Echo just pushing that turret down very heavily. There was a ping onto a roaming Daydreamin as well as a NintendudeX, and they are dropping a lot of pink wards already on, trying to control for this next dragon.
That's something you'll notice about Daydreamin a lot. He may actually sacrifice going for an early Ruby Sightstone just because Sight Wards or Vision Wards are just way too effective right now. You kind of have to drop them instead of regular Green Wards because while Green Wards give you vision, it's the Vision Wards that actually give and take away. And so with two of those around the dragon area, setting up for about a minute and a half until our next respawn, and with Coast having taken the first one, we really haven't seen too much pressure around that area. It's been I mean, 0-0 the score for the entirety of the bottom lane. With a 20 CS advantage, Echo's winning that out in just straight up CS, but Sivir is a much more team-centric kind of focus for an AD carry. Really wants to get those team fights going, and with the early pink ward coverage around the dragon, that's going to be an advantage that Coast wants to press.
Yeah, as the second turn of the game for the side of Coast goes down in the mid lane, so a lot of pressure for them. Dragons coming up in about a minute. ZionSpartan still pushing down, using that Spirit Fire, using the Siphoning Strike, sustaining through all the damage that BillyBoss wants to even present to him, and not even caring while YoDa gets chunked away a little bit by the burnout from Shyvana. NintendudeX just rotating towards the dragon, and I feel like the next big fight is going to happen down there. While Daydreamin gets a stun, we see some poke coming in from Echo, and Daydreamin taking the road less traveled and paying for it.
He does have a health potion running, so he's probably just going to stay in lane and get a stun back up, but already you can see as the dragon timer decreases, there's an inverse relationship between that and the number of wards. And you can see now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wards just around that dragon area, because hey, 30 more seconds and a big global objective comes up. And while we haven't seen very much action out of that top lane, just the nice 1v1 one out there by BillyBoss, it's probably going to be the bigger focus for Billy to leave that top lane finally after both top turrets went down, make a trip down towards that dragon area. We'll see which way he decides to go.
Yeah, we do have Shyvana waiting, dragon form available, just looking to try to bait this one out with WizFujiN, trading back and forth. There is no ward from the side of Atomic right now, so he is in a perfect spot. We do have YoDa up in the mid lane. He's going to go back, so there is no hint that the side of Denial even know that Nintendo is down there, as he's just hovering back and forth, playing it safe still, and just playing it perfect. But there's a flash difference coming in, as now Dragon Form from the side, but a crescendo landing out to 2 members. WizFujiN shields it though, gets through it, and picks up the kill, as some patience from NintendudeX and some nice initiation by that Annie guarantee a kill for the side of Coast. And with that though, BillyBoss roamed down, and this Dragon could go over to Denial unless we see NintendudeX come in. There's the Mega Inferno Death Bomb coming in, as a bouncing bomb to collapse on that one. Can NintendudeX pick up a kill? There's a teleport coming in, and it's going to be Dragon over to the side of Denial. Ecko picks it up. NintendudeX in the pit. There is ZionSpartan laying down the pain, as a slice and dice get BillyBoss out of the pit. And that will be them escaping just barely. And no one dies from the side of Coast. No one dies from the side of Denial. And that is going to be a Dragon over to Denial almost for free.
And while I like Shiphtur's Zigs choice, a Karthus in that situation would have been extremely effective. Let's see, YoDa makes it out alive. Ecko and BillyBoss. Yeah, oh my God.
Just running through the back of the turret, not caring, you know.
It's just like, hey, I don't think turrets actually matter, because I'm pretty sure with 309 stacks of Siphoning Strike, turrets don't actually exist against Nasus. Zion can walk up to a full health turret, ult, tank the turret, and then kill it with Siphoning Strikes before it was able to kill it back. So when you're able to out 1v1 a turret, I feel as if that's a pretty good indication of being a fairly strong champion, Dan.
A very good indication of being a very strong champion. Now with that, is tier 2 dead up in the mid lane, so that is going to be a lot more pressure onto the inhibitor turrets if they do end up looking to group early on from the side of Coast and let ZionSpartan do his thing up top. We do have the tier 1 dead in the bot lane now, as Denial have a little bit of work to do. They have to start pushing the other outers here. A good job by BillyBoss though. He has taken control of that top lane. He is ahead in CS now. He's got the Spirit Visage, he's got a lot of sustain and a lot of resistance to that anti damage, as well as some of the damage from Siphoning Strike and Shiphtur's burst damage that he can present. Alright, so ZionSpartan just faking out the back there. YoDa gonna drop a pink ward, clear out their blue side. And yeah, just gonna see Daydreamin picking up an Oracle's now, the second one of the game already for the side of Coast at 23 minutes here. And ZionSpartan with red buff, gonna keep clearing out this top lane. The Dragon is down, so there's no objectives just yet, just the turrets looking to be pushed down here. ZionSpartan being the menace to BillyBoss. And welcome back.
All right, yeah, it's good to be back. Thanks for inviting me, Dan. But all right, so pressure at the top lane. Zion's just trying to find some way that BillyBoss is going to let him take a trip back to base. He will finally make it back there and look for a little bit closer to that Spirit Visage, but almost at that 40% CDR. Goes back to base, as almost 350 stacks. Billy's going to be able to push that lane out incredibly quickly, but at the same time, the 1v1s are always the way that Coast want to play the game. And now that they have their 4v4 down bottom, looking to have Shiphtur put a lot of poke pressure down onto this bottom turret.
Yeah, ZionSpartan still dealing with BillyBoss here. He's going to slice and dice through the wall, most likely look to go back and help out his bot lane, as the poke coming in from Shiphtur right now is immense, but he doesn't have a blue buff, so it's not going to be infinite poke coming out from him. He just keeps throwing little bouncy bombs, Boomerang Blade for a lot more poke with that, and they are clearing out the waves. They haven't done much damage to the turret just yet, and they will be forced back here unless they're going to keep doing this. Ecko is going back on that Lucian, so they're going to be 4v3ing down bot. Daydreamin doesn't have flash available just yet. It's in a couple seconds. Tibbers is available. NintendudeX has the Dragon Form. He's being sneaky, waiting in the brush. Bouncing bombs coming out from the side from Shiphtur, and it looks like BillyBoss did actually make his way down. Some nice ward coverage from Daydreamin will spot him out. Are they going to look to initiate this one from the side of Denial, though, as it looks like a no is the answer to that, and BillyBoss's presence will keep Coast at bay for a little bit longer.
Zion's gonna actually ult for the blue buff? I'm not sure about that one. I mean, sure, he has a ton of cooldown reduction, but he will take it out in time. And now it's BillyBoss gonna run into an ult, and Nasus throws down Dominus of his own.
That Wither coming in, the damage from the Fury of the Sands. The ultimate fades, though. Slice and dice will get BillyBoss out of there. ZionSpartan's going to chase this one down, Siphoning Strike him in the face underneath turret. WizFujiN shielding the Vault Breaker, but there's the Assault and Battery to follow up. Crescendo as well as Charm. All the damage coming in. Ecko picks it up with Ignite, but YoDa actually gets bursted out there by Shiphtur with the help of the Ignite. And that is going to be a 1-for-1. Satchel to knock him into the wall. Can they do anything else to catch onto him? It looks like that's a no, but a Bouncing Bomb connects onto Ecko. Going to take him down to half HP, and that is going to be some turret damage onto the tier 2 here, while ZionSpartan still diving onto BillyBoss here, foregoing the turret, just not even caring, dropping it with a CDR from the Frozen Heart is going to help him out a lot. He didn't get the dice, he actually forced the flash away, flash siphoning strike, and the the fire coming in from NACL is just picking up the kill, and after a very long fight, it's going to be ZionSpartan coming out ahead.
Yes, and while ZionSpartan takes a little bit of a different take on protecting the rest of his mans, they're going to be safe on the rest of the map. Apparently, no brotherly love between ZionSpartan and BillyBoss. Nasus winning out. Finally, you see the outscale starting to stack up, because while BillyBoss has been able to consistently shove all those minions towards ZionSpartan's turret, Zion just gets more out of the minion wave, because you can see he's now sitting on 393 stacks.
Wow, alright, so close to the 400 stack point at 26 minutes is very good for Nasus. He's on a very good point to getting even more scary in that late game. He picks up a Sheen. He's going to be building towards Eternity Force most likely, or you can go for the Iceborne Gauntlet. I've seen both, and they both work out really well. I like Trinity Force though, you get a little bit more mobility, and you can use the Phage to its full effectiveness. WizFujiN is grabbing red buff over here. Daydreamin now looking to clear out this Baron pit, as the side of Denial haven't even had a chance to walk over there and drop a ward.
Now, for Velocity, they actually didn't do too badly in the overall early game. The only problem is that they stacked up so much of their champion choices towards that early game. You have Renekton, very, very good in the early game. Sona as well, great for lane sustain, really big lane bully. And while Crescendo helps her stay relevant during big team fights later on, you're definitely going to get a little bit more of a huge initiation out of Daydreamin, who have seen a couple of different times just go in there for those flash tibbers stuns and then really just blow the team fight open, set it up for a very, very effective team fight for Coast. And even ZionSpartan brings that teleport for his summoner spell, and I really like that because it means that he's not just about split pushing, he has the ability to team fight as well.
Yeah, and we do see Pink Wards and Oracles being fully useful here for side of Coast. The side of Denial hasn't even had a chance to utilize their Oracles except for that one ward over the wall there, and they just keep dropping Pinks to try to deny all the vision away from Coast, while ZionSpartan still keeps on split pushing. They throw BillyBoss at him to try to keep him at bay for now. But you cannot run forever, as Nasus will chase you down with that Wither. And still, the vision being denied. Pings from Denial are coming out. It looks like Coast is trying to bait this one out. There's going to be a nice W coming in from Ecko to spot out that Annie. But still, just the split push that ZionSpartan is known for is just coming into effect now.
Oh my goodness, Daydreamin and that NintendudeX are just setting up a trap there over the wall. There's the ward from Atomic. All right, no face checks for Atomic this game. It's really easy to find out where the rest of Team Coast are because you just look at what lane ZionSpartan is not in. And that's pretty close to where they're going to be. On the opposite side of the map, just letting Zion split push. And you can see he's almost at 450 stacks right now. There's the teleport onto Baron.
Alright, so this is going to be a sneaky Baron coming in from the side of Coast right now. They know that Nasus is missing, and Shiphtur is going to try to zone. He's got a blue buff at this point. He's got a blue pot activated. He's going to zone away with those mines and the bouncing bombs. Atomic is going to clear out that pink ward, and now we do see them backing off of Baron here. YoDa going to be the first target. He's forced to flash away. Atomic's going to run through the mines. Daydreamin gets the timbers. There's the bomb, and Shiphtur blowing up Atomic, as now a charm lands on his ZionSpartan. The chase is imminent. There is the burnout. Can they catch Ecko here? Dragon Form is available. The culling to do some kind of damage, but ZionSpartan just tanking through it. BillyBoss goes down to Shiphtur. That's going to be 2 kills for him, and now he's on a killing spree as Dragon, with the help of Tibbers, a dog, and another dragon, and a little Yordle with a mad scientist bombs, are going to look to possibly take out this Baron now.
I was going to say, I want to call this team composition for Coast the Zoo Comp, because they have dragons, they have bears, they have dogs, they have basically everything in there. Now they're going to take down a Baron Nashor, and while I'm not sure what member of the animal kingdom he is, won't be alive for very much longer either way. There, I guess he's a worm. He's a giant mutant Baron worm. Yeah, there we go. And the Baron buff given
slug.
over to it could be a slug too. Very well. Wonder if that means he destroys my weapon when I play him. But either way, it's going to be Baron buff for Team Coast. They're going to take a trip all the way back to base, and now it's up to Velocity. What do they want to do now that they have a little bit of map coverage? They don't have to worry about Team Coast. They know they all went back to base. So what do they get off of that? And it looks like the answer is only going to be a dragon. No turrets to be taken. It could look for the first one bottom lane, but either way, it's going to be a very rough trade, as now Team Coast are exactly what they want to be. They have a split pusher in ZionSpartan who's just ridiculously far ahead of BillyBoss. The rest of the team with that Baron buff can even win out 4v4s, maybe even 4v5s, just because of the overall team contribution from things like WizFujiN's on the hunt and the just area of effect poke damage and disengage that Shiphtur has as well.
Yeah, and still, the CS lead is in the favor of Ecko, but on that Lucian, you gotta make sure they clarify which Ecko we're talking about here. Daydreamin is on the other side here. He's gonna drop the sub with the Incinerate. NintendudeX is on there, and that is going to look like a new pair of Crocs, and there goes the Boomerang Blade as WizFujiN takes it out, and will be on a... Was he on a killing spree? I don't think he is, actually. I might have read that wrong, but Blue Buff gets stolen away, Shiphtur picks it up, and the siege is going to continue down in the tier 3 turret in the top lane.
And that's the biggest problem after teams get Baron, is that, okay, you got Baron, we can do something now, but then they just overextend just a little bit, and BillyBoss in that category, unfortunately, getting caught out. This is exactly where, the Shiphtur Zigs pick really pays off. It's in the turret sieges. When you want to force objectives, you can just throw so much at your opponents underneath their turret that sooner or later something's going to land. They're going to get chunked out. They're going to have to go back to base. And with the Lich Bane now completed, Shiphtur's just going to, like, four-shot these turrets, and pretty much the same situation for ZionSpartan. The only problem is he's going to make his way towards those turrets a little bit later on. Nintendude's in the middle lane. This is actually a 3-1-1 split push from Coast, which isn't something you see all that often. You should see Nintendude rejoin the rest of his team here in not too long. ZionSpartan sitting on almost 500 stacks of Siphoning Strike.
Oh, that's very painful to see. You do not want to be anyone squishy on the side of DNL right now, especially that support Atomic is running with Sona. Probably get a 3-shot out there by just 3 Siphoning Strikes. We do see him pressuring down there. BillyBoss is trying to respond once again. He's got Renekton, he's got Spirit Visage, and even some armor penetration, but it's not enough. That Frozen Heart coming in from ZionSpartan, just mitigating so much of that damage. He's going to eat some turret shots, but he will just ignore out BillyBoss. There, Charm connects on Nintendude, though, from Ecko. Even a power grid coming in from Atomic, but it's still not enough to stop them with WizFujiN. Gonna pop that bouncing blade, but there's the dive coming in. The bomb comes through. Atomic gets chunked out there. He flashes away and gets out, but it's gonna be YoDa sacrificing himself with the back line to prevent him from diving any further. But Shiphtur flashes forward. NintendudeX is almost dead there. He satchels back out, actually. The culling comes in. It's gonna help kill Timbers a little bit faster. Doesn't connect with too many people there, but it did force him to stop pushing for a little bit. But now that the wave is collapsing there, ZionSpartan's going to ignore BillyBoss and chunk away about 400 health from that turret with 1 Siphoning Strike. There's the dominance, and ZionSpartan just ignoring it, popping his own Fury of the Sands. Going to be forced to back out there, taking a little too much damage. Randomness comes out to slow him a little bit, but will he be able to sustain up with the Siphoning Strike? 118 off of BillyBoss. So much.
Oh my god, Zion's going to kill BillyBoss.
Turning it around, and Siphoning Strike gonna make that kill possible.
Zion just 1v2'd a turret and BillyBoss. I am unprepared for the damage of the Doge. He was able to bring it home, pick up another kill, his second of the game, but just way too much to deal with right now. He's 1v4 right now and not recalling back to base.
Alright, he'll just keep sustaining back up. He's almost full health already. We do see the bomb come out. Atomic getting chucked away to about 20 HP, but Flash coming in. From ZionSpartan picks up the kill, and that is going to be another inhibitor. That's going to be 3 inhibitors from the side of Coast.
That's the second Spirit Fire kill of the game, by the way, for ZionSpartan. Apparently, all the damage Nasus does comes out from Spirit Fire. You heard it here first. But Zion, with his 3rd kill of the game, finally going to take a trip back to base, and whether or not he completes that recall, Shiphtur and the rest of Team Coast are going to stick around here just a little bit longer to continue pushing things into base, because with 3 inhibitors down, that's double super minions in every single lane. And it's going to be really rough for Velocity to try to keep out of their base. The teleport back in on the invincible minion actually getting canceled? No, okay, there we go. He finished getting
stunned on top of it.
Yeah, he got stunned out there, and then Zion had home guards, and he like sped away from there as well. So BillyBoss has his Renekton ultimate on, is going to be in dominance for just a little bit longer, and now without that, there's no big tanky front line. YoDa's going to try to go in on this.
The culling is there. There's a crescendo onto YoDa as well, onto a Daydreamin actually, but he just lives through it. The bear comes out. The little girl, is she going to get away? Lock the Iron Solari, and BillyBoss cannot kill the girl, but there is ZionSpartan coming in, chunking away Ecko, half of his HP, 1 Siphoning Strike. There is the bomb, and WizFujiN with the flash boomerang gets the kill, and Daydreamin actually says Tank Annie. Actually, no, YoDa says Tank Annie, as they cannot take him out, and that is going to be game 1 of tonight, going over to Coast after a very strong showing against the sub-team for Velocity here.
I think the lesson we all need to learn is to be nice to little girls. Daydreamin definitely representing in that respect, and will survive, but a monstrous performance from not only Shiphtur Zigs, 5-1 and 5. Those 5 kills not coming all at the same time, so no Pentas here tonight, but a great performance from Team Coast, who will 11-3 and 15-3 in kills, will take out Velocity Esports.
Yeah, and with that, we are going to go to a quick little commercial break here and bring back game 2 for tonight, as